All right, good morning. Today is Friday, July 14th, 2023. This is your Friday safety meeting. My name is Dennis Davis. I work in the safety department. We're located in the Z building, and I know it's a lot of construction going on around, so pardon our progress, but we are in the Z building, ground level, right in the center of the room by the pillars. If anybody ever has any questions, comments, or concerns that we can help you with, feel free to stop by. One of our talented associates will get you taken care of, and we, of course, never promise we'll have all the answers, but we can get you to somebody around the building that can get you taken care of. We do this meeting 52 Fridays a year, so this one will be no different. We're excited to bring you some fantastic speakers today. We're going to talk a little bit about safety. We're going to talk a little bit about driver health and fitness. We got some vendor highlight we're going to bring up. We got a lot of exciting things going on today, but my favorite thing that we've got going on today is we've got free breakfast for everybody. So if you haven't ordered any breakfast at any of our locations, feel free to jump in line. Our good folks at all three locations are helping us out. John Blancett is the guy that runs all three locations. He's always the guy responsible for any time we have food, whether it's the picnic, whether it's the holiday parties, whether it's Friday morning. He's him and his team are getting us taken care of. So let's give them a round of applause at each of our locations. We appreciate them so much. We are also simulcasting live at each of our locations, and we'll go there in a second, but we're live across the socials too. We're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, and we're live on LinkedIn. So welcome to the folks that are watching live, and welcome to the folks that will be watching us here in the future. We appreciate you tuning in, and we appreciate your interest, whatever it may be, and what Prime Incorporated has going on. So let's go east first. I think our buddy Rick's on vacation. Who do we have with us this morning?
Good morning. It's Lisa and all of my friends here in PA.
That sounds like Lisa. Good morning.
Good morning.
Tell us what's new and interesting in Pittston, Pennsylvania.
Well, I walked into this cafe and wow, it is packed. We're doing great. I mean, we have a great crowd here today. There's still some people in line grabbing their food. Beautiful weather. We have a few thunderstorms coming through, but they said that they're spotty. We're in mid-80 degree weather, and it looks like that's going to be for the whole weekend and next week as well.
You guys are jam-packed in there. It's like you're giving away free food or something.
Yeah, you'd think.
So as always, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, don't hesitate to jump on the mic.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's go west. Who we got with us this morning? Looks like Aaron Ward.
Good morning, Dennis. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Great to be with you this morning. Sounds like you got a fantastic crowd with you today.
We do. We've got a lot of people in here. We've got a lot of people that are working on getting their CDLs, and we've got a lot of upgrades here this week. We had around 15 people come in this week to upgrade and get into their own trucks, completing the training process that they started a few months ago. So hats off to them.
Awesome. So do we have something going on here in a few weeks? Am I looking at my calendar wrong?
Possibly.
Okay.
We've got.
All right.
I don't know what you're referring to, though.
Well, what do you think it is?
Well, we've got
maybe a picnic.
We do have picnic coming up. We've got some of our summer activities. We've also got the virtual meeting that's going to be on August 1st for all the in-house associates. And we just finished up a couple weeks ago. We've talked about several times the truck driving championship, which was a great success. And we've got a couple people going on to nationals. And I think Tyler Patrick is going to go to represent Salt Lake with those guys. And it's going to be a great event.
So your picnic, that's what I was talking about coming up here. Yep. You know, it's a family-friendly event. Bring everybody you want to bring. Now, here in Springfield, we always have this, huge delegation of crab leg eaters. Is there something unique there in Salt Lake City that you guys have, or, what you got?
Well, typically what Brian will do is have them bring a bunch of barbecue out here, and we do it that way. We don't do the seafood too much.
You know, I like seafood, but I can be convinced to eat barbecue as well.
It's a good time for sure.
Well, good deal. Good deal. As I get a little bit closer, we'll get some more information out. We appreciate you guys being with us this morning. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, don't hesitate to jump on the microphone.
Okay, thank you.
All right, right back here, Springfield, Missouri. Good morning. Hello. Fantastic crowd. You know, just want to say I don't see a ton of new folks. I see kind of this delegation over here, but I do want to say for our folks that are new to Prime, I'm assuming that's who this delegation is in the neon vest, and as well as our other locations. If you would stand for just 1 second and give us an opportunity to welcome you to the family. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. All right, there it goes. Thank you guys so much. Welcome to Prime. We really appreciate you being here. You know, you guys are the best of the best. You know, we vetted you pretty well. You guys had options on where you could go to further your trucking career. Thank you guys for choosing Prime. We don't ever pretend to be a perfect company by any means, but we're going to strive every single day to get better for you, you know, and with you. So thank you so much. And for our veteran drivers, our old friends that have been with us for a short while and a long while, thank you guys for being here this morning. Welcome home. Hopefully, if you were home for the holiday, great to have you back out. And if you were running during the holiday, thank you so much for making that sacrifice and being out. Hey, with me this morning, I've got a 22-year associate here at Prime.
Just turned 22, man.
Just turned 22. Dave White. Good morning, sir.
Morning. How you doing?
Doing fantastic.
Man, I just want to give out a big thank you to all of our new folks that are coming on this week, all our new associates. Thank you for coming with Prime. You're going to find out you made the right move. This is a great company to work for. Hopefully you did your research on us before you got here, and hopefully you checked us out and talk to maybe some of our drivers. That's the best way to check us out, really, is talk to the drivers who do the work out there on the road and see what they say. And you're not going to find any better training program than right here. Hands-on, and you learn out on the road. You're not out in a gravel lot somewhere like a lot of truck driving schools are. And you know, this is the real deal, and you'll enjoy that. And hopefully you enjoy being an associate here too as well, because you're very valuable to us, and our training program is the top. And the reason it is, we got a lot of great backing from our owner, Robert Lowe, and coming on down through the management staff. And we want you to be the best, and we want the best drivers out there hauling our freight, and the safest all at the same time. So welcome. I think, Dennis, we've talked about this before too. It's not an easy job out there, being away from your family and being away from home, but it is an exciting and rewarding career as long as you stay safe, pick up on time, deliver on time, and hey, work with your fleet managers. Get that communication going right at the beginning. You know, if you don't know them before you get out with a trainer, get with your fleet manager, get to know them a little bit, get with road assist, your payroll person, who's going to be paying you. You know, all that's all important. Safety department, stop by and say hi to us, man. We don't bite. I know a lot of people don't like to come and see us because think we're going to chew them out, but we don't do that. We just want everybody to get better. And if you want to review your safety numbers, and if you've been driving here for a while and you just want to look at your safety record, stop on by. We love to share that with everyone. And you know, because that's what's most important right here. So, but welcome, no doubt. Beautiful day here in Springfield, and we're gonna make it work this week, man. This is dog days of summer upon us right here.
Dog days of summer, terribly hot, 100 degrees here in Springfield yesterday, but that's okay. You know, let's talk about safety here for a second. You know, first thing I want to tell everybody, and of course, this is not a news flash. There's no such thing as a perfect driver. Every driver makes mistakes. Every driver from time to time maybe get involved in a situation, whether it's preventable or not. You know, it's never the safety department's stance or goal, or, you know, we're not trying to run anybody out of here. We need you. We need as many good quality drivers as we can get. You know, that Steve Wilkie will tell you, you know, you're our best sales folks. You know, you guys that are out there picking it up, delivering it on time, and doing it safely. But, you know, if you've been here a few years and maybe made a mistake, or you know, maybe got some habits that you've developed that we want to address, you know, don't put your dukes up right away. You know, no different than, you know, who's the greatest quarterback of all time, Dave?
I'd go with Tom Brady there, Dennis. I'd have to go with Tom Brady. I'm not a fan of his, but he is good.
You know, Tom Brady, you know, still goes to practice every day. Well, he's retired now, but when he played, he still went to practice every day. He still had a coach giving him instruction. In the off season, he was still working on his craft. You know, he was still watching, you know, game film to study the opponents and study himself. He was still trying to get better, you know, 7 championships in, right?
That's right. Yeah, 7.
So this is what you guys to keep in mind. Let's talk a little bit about safety this morning. We got a couple things we want to talk about. You want to go CSA scores first?
Yeah, so this past week, just on our inspections, and we like to report these because these are extremely important. This is what drives our safety numbers. This past week, we had a big dip. We went down to 85 inspections total. So we're under 185. We haven't seen those numbers in a while, but it's nice. Not getting inspected as much this past week. Of course, the 4th of July helped out. A lot of scales aren't open. A lot of, number of enforcement people take time off too. So that helped our numbers as well. But 85 total, 53 of those were clean. So a 62% clean rate. Very good. Yeah, give yourself a round of applause. Good job. Also this past week, our CSA scores came out. And Brianne, could you pull up the graph for us here? Now, these scores are updated monthly, come out usually the first or within the second week of the month. And there are last 2 years of DOT inspections and crashes. And crashes are DOT recordable crashes. So they're anything involving a tow due to disabling damage or an injury where somebody was transported for medical treatment or a fatality. So let's look at those numbers. Our crash, I'm going to start from right and go left. So we're going to kind of go backwards a little bit. So bear with me. But starting with crash, our number for June was 61%. In May, we're at 58. So we jumped up 3 percentage points. But part of the frustration with CSA I have, we went down 10 crashes, but yet we went up 3%. So CSA does compare us to other carriers that have similar amount of crashes. So we're getting compared to them. The only thing I can say, they must have got a little bit better than us, but it's hard for me to understand that. So, and I don't know the formulas that go into it, but that's the federal government for you. Hopefully they can fix that one of these days. But we are at 61 for the month of June. Our hazardous materials dropped though. We're at 71 for June. We're at 86 back in May. So we dropped a pretty good 15% there, and that's an awesome job. Maintenance, we stayed about the same. We're at 32 June, 33 in May. Controlled substance, alcohol, 6% in May, 7% in June. Not much difference there. Driver fitness, we went from a 61 in May up to a 64 in June. So a little bit of jump there. Now, hours of service, those are the red ones. Those are the ones we want to get down. Hours of service and unsafe driving. We need to get those lowered. In May, we were 77%. In June, we're 77%. Our top violation for hours of service is the 14-hour rule. And we were even on violations from May to June. And we even went down 13 points on that one. So our numbers got better there. False record or duty status is our second top violation. We went down 8 violations there and went down 155 points. So we did improve on that. And personal conveyance, we went up 1 violation, but we went down overall 59 points. So overall for that basic, we did get better. It's just that the percentage points doesn't show that. So, but hats off, let's keep lowering those numbers, because I know next month if we do the same thing, we have to drop on the percentage. So unsafe driving, this is where we struggled a little bit. May, we were at 77%. June, we jumped up to 80%. Now, the top violation for unsafe driving, failure to obey a traffic control device. So that may be a stop sign, stop light, could be missing a scale, something like that. We were even from May to June on those numbers on violations, and we went down 100 points. So we got better in that one. But the one we went up in, a couple we did, was seat belts. We went up 5 violations, 112 points, and speeding, 15 over. We went up 6 violations and 169 points. And that one there really hurt us. So we really need to concentrate on that unsafe drive and make sure you're wearing your seatbelt at all times. Got to have that belt over your shoulder all the way down. Has to be taut against your chest. You have to wear it the right way. And you need to wear it immediately after you get in your truck and you start moving. Don't wait until you get out on the road and then try to get it wrapped around you and click it in. Do it before you leave the customer, the truck stop, wherever you may be. Don't wait on that. Enforcement, they're pretty good at picking this up. Our seatbelts are orange for a reason, to show them that we are wearing them correctly, and that's why we order our trucks like that. So there's no disagreement. Driver, back in the day, we used to have brown ones or tan seatbelts, and drivers would say, well, I had it on, but the officer couldn't tell with my shirt. Well, now they're orange. So there's a reason why. So let's wear those seatbelts. They're for your safety. At the end of the day, it's all about safety, and that'll keep you from surviving a crash and then maybe not surviving one. So wear that seatbelt properly. It is the law, and just do that. Watch your speed too, obviously. Many times our speeding, it's not out on the interstates where the speed limit's 65, 70 miles an hour. Some states it's more than that because our trucks don't go that fast. Speeding violations we get into is when we're coming into construction zones, and right now construction is very prevalent throughout the United States. A lot of states fixing bridges, fixing roads. This is the time to do it. They're getting money from the federal government. Let's get them fixed up. And in those areas, speeds can drop from 65, 70 down to 40 pretty quick. And so when you see that speed limit sign, get down and make sure you're doing that speed, because many times there's an officer sitting right there just waiting for you. They may not give you a ticket, which is a blessing for you, but it will hit your CSA scores if they write you up on an inspection. So sometimes it happens when you get the double whammy, you get the ticket and the inspection, so you'll get both. So let's not come across that. So watch your speeds out there, just pay attention, be careful. And construction zones pose other traffic issues too, with dump trucks pulling out and workers out there close to the line on those cones doing construction on the roads. So pay attention to those, because sometimes they may, sometimes this happens, a worker may fall down or something, and you got to be able to be aware and avoid that situation. So pay attention to what's going on. They're doing the best they can, but there's other situations that can come up as well. So,
Dave, if you look at that graph that we have posted there on the screen, you see those two basics on the left that are in red. That means they're in the intervention level. Does that mean we're an unsafe company? Does it mean?
No, CSA is about compliance, and it's complying with the regulations. Doesn't mean we're unsafe. Obviously, our crash scores is under the intervention. We do fine there. And, it's not about it's a compliance issues and speeding, wearing seatbelts thing. It's the small things that add up. And so we just need to get better in those areas, Dennis, and we will. We'll get better, and we're heading down that road right now. So
absolutely, we made some pretty good changes and some significant headway on getting in the right direction. That I don't think that if Dave White's not wearing his seatbelt, I don't think that makes him an unsafe driver. But let's talk about some things that may not make you an unsafe driver, but are some unsafe habits. All right. What you got for us?
Yeah, so this past week, we had a couple accidents where we had rollaways, drivers forgetting to set their brakes. They're at a customer, truck stop, things like that. Man, that's so important. When you stop your truck and you're going to get out of that driver's seat, make sure your brakes are set. Make sure you set both the tractor and the trailer brakes, especially in the summertime. There's no need to just set the tractor, set both of them, because you want that truck to not be able to move. We don't want a situation where drivers, forgets to set those brakes and they get in a bunk, or you get out and all of a sudden it rolls your truck down the hill. And that can be catastrophic. People can get hurt, and it can go even worse than that. So, make sure those brakes are set. Make sure that, that you are satisfied that truck is not going to move. And once again, set both the tractor and the trailer brakes.
Two of the things I definitely want to talk about before we get too far deep into our time, let's talk a little bit about parking on the shoulder, one, and then, you and I had a conversation about some deals that I had to do this week pertaining to U-turns. So what's your deal on U-turns?
U-turns, avoid them at all costs. The last thing you want to do is do a U-turn in a truck. Reason is, when you do that, it takes so much time to get up to speed. Many states it's illegal to do U-turns anyway, but there's some areas you can do U-turns. You'll see cars do U-turns, but a tractor trailer, think about it. When you're making a U-turn, a vehicle coming the other direction, even they may be a half mile down the road. If they're going 60, 70 miles an hour, it's no time before they're upon you. And if you're blocking that road and they hit you for whatever reason, they might not even be paying attention. They could be on their cell phone or whatever it may be, and they hit your trailer. That is a tough accident to defend if we get sued on. And obviously we're going to end up paying for damages anyway for the most part. So you cannot block the road when you're making U-turns, and that's part of the dangers of making a U-turn. Not only that, Dennis, it just takes so much time for a tractor trailer to get up to speed after you make that U-turn, and especially if you're loaded, it even takes more time. You know, I was looking at some statistics the other day. Hey, if traffic's going 60 miles an hour and you make a U-turn, it can be up to 40 to 50 seconds before a tractor trailer can get up to that 60 mile an hour. So it can take a long time, longer than what you may think. So avoid U-turns at all costs, no doubt.
You know, one of the biggest issues here in the trucking industry today is parking. You know, let's just be honest. You know, and Dave and I can stand up here in the comfort of our office behind our desk and say, hey, don't park on the shoulder, don't park on the ramp. You know, but it's dangerous to do that. One, you know, the coaching is always going to be when you pull over to the shoulder, there should be only really two reasons you're pulling over, well, three that you're pulling on the shoulder. The first obvious one, of course, is if law enforcement asks you to pull over. But the other two are if there's something going on from an emergency standpoint with you, the driver, or with the equipment. All right, you know, these tire pressure monitors on the trailer, that's an emergency. We need to get pulled over, you know, as quickly and as safely as we can. If you're having a medical situation or, you know, something with you, of course, get pulled over. But, you know, one of the most dangerous places that a truck and trailer could find themselves is parked on the side of the road. You're almost like a sitting duck there on the side of the road, especially at night when some folks are basically following lights. And yeah, your lights are still on, yet you're stationary on the side of the road. In addition to that, re-entry into traffic. That's always just, you know, Dave just had the conversation about how long it takes for your truck and trailer to get up to speed. If somebody's even in that right lane or even in the left lane changing lanes, they're, you know, doing, you know, 55, 60, 65, sometimes 70 miles an hour, and you're getting on doing, you know, 45 at the time that you're making that merge back into traffic. You know, there could be a situation with those two. So just kind of keep those things in mind. And of course, you know, Dave, you want to talk about just avoiding the shoulders, I mean, the ramps as much as you can.
That is true. And if you do stop on a shoulder, you have a flat tire or something, yes, we want you to stop. You blow a tire, don't continue down the road because you're just going to cause more damage. You got a good chance of having a fire, and it's just going to lead to a worse situation. But when you do pull over on the shoulder, put those four-ways on and get those triangles out as soon as possible. You have within 10 minutes to get your emergency triangles out. And what we've been noticing now in our CSA scores, Dennis, many times is when our drivers are stopped on the shoulder to get rest. Let's say there's nothing wrong and you're just, hey, I'm going to pull off on this ramp, or I'm going to pull off on the shoulder and get a little nap in. What the officer will write you for, number one, is parking violation. And then number two, you don't have your emergency triangles out, because many drivers say, well, I may be broke down, I'm something wrong. Well, if you don't have your triangles out, you don't have your four-ways on, it just leads to more violations, and that's what they'll write you for. So, you know, don't try to avoid that issue. It's getting a lot of attention, truck parking. It always has been an issue. You know, even back when I drove, there's times I'd start to get tired, start looking for a parking spot, maybe 8, 9 o'clock at night, and it's tough sometimes. Truck stops fill up pretty early. You got to plan that out. So, you know, plan your trip. At the end of the day, that's how you kind of avoid this, and plan where you're going to want to stop. And if it's 5, 6 o'clock at night, maybe get your 10 hours in, 11 hours in of sleep there, and then get going early in the morning, get rolling again, and get out. You know, get you out of a lot of problems and get you into these areas where you can get some rest a little bit quicker and you can get a spot, less of an issue. But I know your clock's always rolling 24 hours, the hours of service is rolling. Customer wants their freight. You may not be tired yet at 5 or 6 o'clock, but you can't, you know, parking on the shoulders, parking on the ramps is extremely dangerous. So stay away from that.
You know, Dave, you and I have been, you know, griping about some mistakes here for a while, and that's just part of the culture. We want to get better. We want to make sure that we bring to light some of the things that we see on our end, you know, but here's something else that we also see on our end. You know, on most weeks, you know, prime drivers do about 15 million miles. 15 million miles. That's a lot of miles. And then, you know, Dave and I and our team, we get to really nitpick about just a few situations And most of the time, we really have to dig and search and find those situations to talk about to help us get better. So by and large, you guys do a fantastic job. And thank you so much. Give yourselves a round of applause. Come on, you can do better than that. You're clapping for yourself.
Yeah, Dennis, these last few weeks and since this summer, we've been knocking it out of the ballpark on the accident front, and let's continue that. Let's get that through the summer. And summers can be tricky, like we talked about construction and kids out and all this. So keep paying attention, watching what's going on around you. If you haven't taken the PSC class, get polished up on your safe driving skills. Because many times we get complacent. That's just human nature. And you and I get complacent, but definitely from the driver's standpoint, you can get complacent. And that's why I take that PSC class that we have at all 3 terminals. Get with your fleet manager, tell them you want to take that. Instead of just sitting here at the terminal, if your truck's getting worked on, spend a day over there and get paid $100 and just polish up on your skills, because that's what it's about right there, is staying on top of the game.
All right, let's keep it rolling here. All right. So I do have an admission to make, so typically on evenings where I'm not traveling, I try to get out in the neighborhood and walk around with the family. Last couple of weeks, it's been real hot and I ain't been walking. So before our friends in the driver health and fitness department gets on us for not logging any miles, I'm just gonna, me and Copa right away. I didn't do any walking this
You're
week.
just admitting you're guilty, right?
I'm guilty.
Not helping our in-house numbers.
It was hot. It was 100
Come on,
degrees
man.
yesterday. So we're going to bring our friends, Driver Health and Fitness. Rachel and Kobe, come on up. And Dave probably didn't do any walking either.
Did you do any? No walking, huh? That's all right. That's all
Yes,
right.
I did, Dennis. And I only saw you log like one time. So come on.
Uh-oh. Good morning, everybody. I'm Colby with Driver Health and Fitness. This is Rachel,
Good morning.
our dietitian. We just want to take a couple minutes. We talked to you guys the last few Fridays about our challenge we have going on, our summer stride. Give you a little update on it, and then kind of highlight a few people in-house and drivers that have actually submitted the most miles. But just so you guys know real quick, I'll talk about it and then you can kind of update them. So the summer stride we do on our website, you can log a mile, every mile you walk. We're kind of doing a challenge between driver and in-house. The first one to get to 6,891 miles, which is the distance between all of our terminals and our drop yards and our tank washes. So it's from California to Oregon, down here to Salt Lake, up to like Pittston and down to Miami, Florida. So widespread, kind of shows the impact that Prime has. So that's what our mileage is. Rachel, you want to kind of highlight a few of our top trackers? If you
Yeah,
will?
so thank you for everyone who has logged. We have from the top 3 drivers, it's HITFUM with 154. They are leading right now.
So guys, just so you know, that's like in 2.5 weeks, just under right at 3 weeks. So they've walked 150 miles and logged them in 3 weeks, which is pretty good.
Yep, so they're doing awesome. And then in second, we've got driver code VEIAAN at 122, so they're pretty close. And then I'm going to highlight one of the top in-house, so ROSSS. And then we've also, is D in here today?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, D, sorry, I just now saw you. You're coming in third at in-house.
That's it.
Yeah.
Way to
So-
go. See, we got a little.
Yeah. Thanks to everyone who has been logging, including Dennis. Yeah, you guys are doing awesome.
Yeah. So again, guys, it's really simple on our website. You can click on, once you go to driverhealthandfitness.com, you just click on either driver in-house, whichever one of the summer strides. You see those buttons right there. And it's just, you put your name, you put your driver code or in-house code, and then how many miles you logged and send it. So it's really simple. A couple things I want to share with you why. Just kind of think about, we always talk about like driver health and fitness and weight loss or, those kinds of things. But like, I kind of document a few things. So like the average person, that a 250-pound person that walks at 3.5 miles an hour, burns 150 calories every mile they walk. So that is a significant difference. So just something to think about. A couple things you may admit that if you don't really think about, like we're talking about weight loss, but some other things, it can lower your blood sugar after eating up to 10 points. So instantly walking after you eat can decrease your blood sugar or blood glucose. It can lower your blood pressure, reduce the risk of heart disease and stroke, improve balance, bone density, can improve your heart and lung function. And also, I think this is interesting, it's shown to slow the age-related memory loss just from walking. So again, we put that up there not just because we want to see us travel from all our places just for fun, but there's so many benefits to it, and it's free. Get out and walk. I know, Dennis, it's 110 degrees sometimes, but get creative. If you didn't know, guys, when your truck is loaded with the 53-foot trailer, it's about 33 laps around that. So that's a mile. So that's to me, it's also neat, but I'm thinking that's a pretty good size automobile too. So talk about safety. So that's it. If you guys have any questions, like I said, Driver Health and Fitness, our office is upstairs here in Millennium Building, but we also have Maria in Pittston, Matt in Salt Lake, and Johanna, myself, and Rachel are here. So let us know what we can do to help. D, keep it up. Appreciate it.
You know, Dave, I didn't, D, great job in holding down for us in-house folks. Dave, I didn't see your name up there.
I know. I do walk that desk. Usually it's down here in the gym though. I do my elliptical down here, and this afternoon or this morning I gotta get back down there again. But
Okay.
it's okay to sweat though. You got to remember that, man. It's good for you.
Yeah, but we got a challenge here though. So
I know.
We're gonna get you on there next week.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. All right. Hey, we got some really exciting stuff going on that just here. Just plain here. And, we're going to take some time during these Friday morning safety meetings to start to highlight some of the exciting things that we have around the building. And I'll just mention a few. I'm pretty sure I missed something. You've got the spa. Me and Dave probably don't get our hair cut down there, but full service spa, you can get your hair, nails, massage. We've got a chiropractor here. We've got a sleep lab here. We've got a doctor's office here. We got a movie theater here. We've got so many exciting things here, right here for the amenities for our drivers and in-house associates. We're going to highlight from week to week something exciting that we have here. One of the other exciting things we have here is a company store. So I'm going to ask someone from our company store to come up and just talk about just a few of the things you offer. It looks like you want me to hold this for you. You got something here that you want to display.
Yes, this is a Zen Eclipse Sunshade. They are amazing. Drivers are raving about them. Like y'all said, oh yeah, you can open it. Like we said, it's hot. It's going to continue to do so. And this is going to help your truck from overworking. It's a 3-piece set that suction cups to your windshield, your driver side, and your passenger side window. They come in all sizes for trucks. They're available at all 3 of our locations. You're welcome to come stop by the store, check them out. If you have any questions, stop by, talk to us. We'll let you know. The company store hours are 7 to 7 Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 Saturday, and 9 to 3 Sunday at all 3 locations now. Like I said, come see any one of us, myself, any associate at any location, and we'll take care of y'all. $220 for all sizes.
You said 220?
200.
See, I was gonna give it away but we're gonna take that out of Dave's incentive. All right, and then if we end up having to give that away. I see, this is why we can't do that. I see the accounting folks looking at me like, you better not give that away. You better not give that away. Thank you so much. So before you leave here, and let's just sit this here so we can talk for a second. I was playing with the window shades here, and I may not have caught everything you said. Of course, we've got, company store locations at all three facilities, right?
Pittston, Salt Lake, and Springfield.
All right, and it's located right here in the corner, just out of this back door. What are some of the unique things that you carry? Of course, we know you'll carry some trucking related stuff, but what other kind of things do you guys carry that drivers may not know about?
Clothing, apparel, safety equipment, little trinkets and knickknacks for your family, like toys. If you can't get home and see your kids, you want to pick something up for the grandkids, you can ship it home through the mailroom.
I'm a CPAP user, so you guys got
Yes.
resupply for CPAP users in there?
Yes, some of the supplies. We offer the filters, and then the tubing and wipes to clean them with.
And of course, I'm a movie buff. I can quote you just about a line from any movie ever created. I decided you guys got a handsome selection of movies in there too, right?
We have actually discontinued carrying movies in the store due to the large variety of streaming services out there.
I'm pretty sure I brought a DVD in there, but okay.
You're not wrong.
All right. Well, just one more thing. What's one unique thing that, of course, we typically give away like gloves, flashlights, high lumens flashlights, so you can make sure we get those pre-trip inspections done, early morning, late night, during the rain, whatever the case may be. During the winter time, you can make sure that we're taken care of with overalls, hats, steel toe boots, whatever the case may be. But just one thing that, man, nobody even thought about, we had that in the company store.
Maybe our 6-in-1 high-vis raincoats. That way you're safe. If you have pullover on the side of the road, you're flatbedding, you need just a thin layer or a thick layer. It has multiple, turns into a vest. It's quite a unique thing. Pretty reasonably priced compared to the truck stops. So.
There you go. Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
You.
Now, like we said, we're going to start to highlight folks, every week. And of course, we want to make sure we rotate the company store in as often as we can. Of course, we're not going to give this away, so we'll roll this back up for you here in just a second. But thank you for being with us this morning. All right, let's give her. Wait, hold on. We gotta wait. Don't go any.
They take Prime Rewards points, don't they, at the store?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do for in-house and drivers now.
Okay, and do you
I
have,
also have a question online.
do you have an online offering?
Yes, we have the primingstore.com. You can use your points. We are working on getting better shipping rates for y'all. So that is in the process, but primingstore.com, it's ran out of the Salt Lake City terminal by Cody, and he's doing a great job with that.
Okay, Summer, I got one online. Do these sunshades fit every make and model of truck?
Yes, we have Freightliner, Peterbilt, Kenworth, Volvo, International, 220 for each availability and size.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good job, Summer. Thank you. If I see this out in your car later on today, man, I'm going to say something. That's not right. I know whose incentive is coming out of it right now.
Well played, Dave. Well played. All right. So, we talked about the accountants over there watching us in the corner, so we're going to bring up another accountant. We need him to get up here and give us some fuel information so people can start taking shots at him on Facebook instead of taking shots at me for a change, right? This is Sam Messick. He's an accountant, so give him a break. But he's probably any room that he's in, he's going to be one of the smartest people in the room. So he's our fuel manager. He's going to give us an update on what we got.
Well, thank you. Wanted to mention two things this morning. So first of all, we had, as most of you know, and for the new folks in the room that don't know, right, we have some really good rewards promotions with all of our different fuel vendors. So if you're training or a trainee at Prime, please make sure if you're a trainer that you're getting your trainees set up on these reward programs, right? It's a crucial piece of the OTR life, making sure that you get the full advantage of those rewards programs. But if you're a trainee, make sure that you're getting all of your rewards programs set up, that you're aware of how to use it, how to get all the benefits out of it, because there is a lot of value at play with these reward programs. So as most of you know right now, as part of our deal with Love's, we have diamond status at all Love's locations, right? So that gives you free showers, free drink refills, and 4 times the points. If on July 1st, we had a little bit of a hiccup, Love's kind of changed up how they were pushing this promotion out to all of our drivers. So they were sending you an email right before. You just had to swipe your card at the pump. Whenever you first got your Comdata card, the first time you used it, you swipe it at the pump, swipe your Love's Rewards card, and it automatically flags you as a Prime driver, and then you're automatically eligible for whatever reward status we had at the time. They've changed that, so now you have to do it via email. So they send you an email the first of the month, and they will send you an email every day on the first of the month, second of the month, all the way through the 5th of the month, if you haven't opted in using that email. So that email is going to have an opt-in button. It's basically going to activate your reward status for that month at Love's. You don't have to do anything else other than find that email and hit opt-in. We had some issues because operators didn't have the right email set up linked to their My Love's Rewards account. You can check what email you have set up as your default in your My Love's app. So go in there and take a look. But if you have issues where you just cannot figure out where that email went, you haven't gotten the email, and thus you're not able to take advantage of that really good reward status, make sure you go onto your Love's app, send a message to the Love's folks on the Contact Us form on the Love's app, and let them know that you're a Prime driver and that you're eligible for the Diamond status. If they don't get you taken care of there, call the fuel desk and give the fuel desk your loyalty card number, and they'll get that over to me and we'll get you taken care of. But really important to take full advantage of those benefits, right? Free showers, 15, 20 bucks, depending on which location you're at, right? Drink refills, it all adds up. So we want to make sure you're getting the full value of all the programs that we have. The other thing that I wanted to mention though, something that we rolled out yesterday is we're really trying to do a lot better of a job of monitoring reefer fuel transactions. So we've had some issues in the past, right, where some operators accidentally flag a tractor fuel transaction as reefer fuel. So they go and actually pump tractor fuel, right? They put fuel in their tractor, but then they flag it as reefer fuel. And most of the time, I think it's totally unintentional, right? They just aren't aware of what they're doing, but it causes all kinds of issues on the back end, right? We have the reefer reimbursement and chargeback process that makes sure that everybody gets charged for the reefer fuel that was used while the trailer was in their possession and stuff. So we've got to make sure that on fuel transactions that what we have logged as tractor fuel and reefer fuel is correct, right? But based off of what actually went in your tank. So yes, as of yesterday, we've rolled out a new process on our end, on the back end, to help us identify transactions where the amount of reefer fuel that was on the transaction, we're flagging it if it doesn't match up with how much reefer fuel capacity was available on the trailer. So if the trailer had 20 gallons in it and it's a 30-gallon tank, we're saying you can fit 10 gallons of additional reefer fuel in that tank, right? If you have a fuel transaction for 30 gallons of reefer fuel, we're flagging that on the back end. We're having to basically go in and research what happened and manually change that to whatever actual fuel you purchased. So it's crucial to the process to make sure that everybody gets charged back and reimbursed correctly, that those reefer fuel gallons are correct on transactions. So please make sure that if you're putting fuel in the reefer, that's what you claim as reefer fuel. If it's going in the truck, it's got to be claimed as in the truck. If you don't, we're going to catch it on the back end and have to manually correct it anyway. So it just helps if we do it accurately from the beginning. Roy, you got a question?
Hey, Sam. You know that reefer fuel is also non-taxable. So
Correct.
There is a difference, and DOT actually will look to see if it's even dyed, which they do in a lot of places, dye the reefer fuel. So if you're putting it in your tractor and they pull you in for a DOT inspection, I've seen them take a little flashlight, like I guess it's infrared or something, and they'll shine it in your tank. And if they see that dye's in there, you can get cited for that.
So Roy mentioned something that I think is really important. You know, you work for a large company like Prime, and there's a lot of things that we do that other companies either don't have they aren't aware of the fact that they can do these things, or they just don't do them because they don't have the size and the mass to make it worth their while to do some of these things. So we file on your behalf, right, and reimburse to you. We file reefer fuel. We file 4 reefer fuel refunds in well over 20 states across the United States. So in just, let's say 20 to 30 states across the US, you get the fuel tax back on any gallons of reefer fuel that you purchase. So we file the refund request with the states on your behalf, and then we automatically, once we get that money back, stick it back on your settlement. So you don't have to do anything, right? If you buy reefer fuel in those states where it's fuel tax exempt, we go file the refund for you and get that money back for you. It's totally separate from IFTA. It's its own unique thing. So we're doing that for you. So as Roy mentioned, it's really important that those gallons are accurate because, one, we're filing with the states, right, based off of the number of reefer gallons that we claimed. And those numbers have to be accurate. If they're not, we'll get audited, right? We may lose the right to file for reefer fuel refunds in those states. And I can tell you it's millions of dollars a year worth of reefer fuel refunds that we get as a fleet. So super important to make sure that that information is correct. And thanks for bringing that up, Roy. Anybody else have any questions for me? Yeah. Let them grab a mic real quick.
Pertaining to the Love Rewards program, if we haven't gotten the email or missed the email, will they retro the points back to the start of the program for us for who made purchases at Love's before?
So I can say if you didn't get the email, if your email was correct in the app, if you did everything you could do, I would go back and fight for you to get those points back. If you did get the email and you just didn't opt in, then it's kind of, it's tough for us to go back and argue with them that we should get the points. But yeah, if you didn't get, I put a message out on the app too with information as to what email address that email should have come from. And it will come from that same email address going forward, and as well what the subject line of that email is that you'll get every month. So just make sure on the first of the month you're looking for that, you're hitting opt-in. Anybody else? Otherwise, I'll get out of your hair. Oh, one way in the back. Hey.
Do you do the Loves thing every month, or is it just a one-time thing?
Yeah, it's every month. And Loves wants to do this because they want to push additional promotions and stuff through emails. Emails are gold in marketing. So that's really important to them to have that information. So that's the way that they've moved that way with all fleets that they offer rewards programs to. But yeah, it'll be the first of every month. And it's a 2-year deal that we have with Love. So for the next 24 months, you would get those emails.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sam.
Good job. Good job, Sam.
We're running up against time, and we've got a really talented speaker coming up next.
Before we get there, though, let's remind people, if you want to talk to Sam afterwards, if you have questions, you didn't want to get on the mic or whatever it may be, he'll be around here after the meeting too as well. So talk to him and ask those questions.
Ask those tough questions. He can answer them, yeah. So last week, I was gone, and Dave and John had a fantastic meeting, had a fantastic speaker. They had Jeff Murphy from our reefer division to come and talk about, what makes a driver successful. What are some of the things that a one truck line can do to be successful in some of these challenging times. And we thought we kind of have an encore performance. This time we'll stretch it out to a different division. I'm gonna ask Kyle Walk to come on up. We've got a fun podcast that we have called Prime Ways that we highlight folks and some of the things that they've done in their lifetime. So Kyle Walk, back in the 1900s was a state champion football player, came here to Springfield, worked at Prime, started at nights, and then, worked his way up, was a fleet manager in the reefer division, and, they drug him on over to the tanker division to help lead the way. So, we've got, tell me, I'm gonna say 18 years of experience.
That's correct.
Right, I hit it right on the head. See, I don't have a clue how long Dave worked there, but I remember you and I working together at nights. Having some fun times back then. But 18 years of culture, 18 years of being here in the mix, 18 years of listening and learning to folks around the room. So give us some information about what you have experienced in those 18 years about how to be successful.
Thank you for the kind words, Dennis. As you can see, if you look around, the writing's on the wall. So very good company to work for, very strong management support, awesome security team. So yeah, Prime's been real good. So I work in tanker. Everybody familiar with our tanker division here at Prime? Yeah, maybe a few. So similar to success in the reefer division and the tanker division, it's about managing your business. So, what we tell folks in tanker is, just kind of follow Prime's lead. Prime's a great company. We kind of like to think we know what we're doing. So if you kind of follow our lead, we think you'll make a ton of money here at Prime. One thing that Sam Messick was talking about was fuel. For you new operators out there that are just starting your business, we do have our ACE2 business class. So has anyone here been in ACE2? Yeah, did you learn anything? Help you out a little bit? So basically, when you get out and you get on your own about 3 to 6 months, we'd like to bring you back. We'd like you sit down for about a 7-8 hour class, and we will go over your settlements. We'll go over line by line what you and your business are doing. We'll look at your fuel, we'll look at your availability. We'll look at things that we can do to try to make you successful. And for me as a teacher in that class, it's very successful and it's very rewarding. We also have a personal finance piece we get in there, because if you come in here and you hang with Prime, you make a lot of money. We're going to try to help you, use that money and support your family and maybe try to reach some goals in life that you want. So I would advise you to try to take that business class. So what's going on in tanker these days? Well, tanker's growing. very healthy market out there. We do have some openings in our Midwest regional divisions and our food grade side and our pet grade side. So if you're interested in that, come talk to me, come talk to Brett Von Wheeler. We'd be happy to go over that with you. I was over here in Dennis talking about safety and parking. Anybody been in Chicago, can't find any parking? Maybe a few? Has anybody been to our Minooka terminal, Minooka, Illinois? Yeah, what do you think? Nice place. So our locker room, we just finished our weight room facility. So beautiful, beautiful area up there, right off of I-55 and I-80. So please utilize that facility. Come see us, come in, talk to the tanker folks. Does anybody know we got a full service shop up there? Great mechanics. And something that you also might be interested in is we have reefer washouts there. Anybody been waiting in line lately for a reefer washout? Maybe? No waiting usually up there at Prime Minooka. We'll get you in and get you out. So, but that's about all I have this morning. Does anyone else have any questions for the tanker side?
All right, let's give him a round of applause. Thanks, Kyle. All right, we're coming down to the end. I think we had a great meeting today.
We did, yeah. A lot of great speakers and good information out there, no doubt.
Sure. You know, we always got to give a plug in for the Prime mobile app. You know, I think a few folks have referred to it today. Probably one of the most useful tools I think a driver could have is make sure if you don't have it, which I think the numbers are up in the 90-something% of drivers that are operating today have the Prime mobile app. But if you don't, especially for our new folks, download the Prime mobile app. Absolutely the most useful tool you can have on the road. We've got the Prime mobile app experts here on my right. We got Richard and Brianne here. So if you have any questions about it, or if you have maybe some challenges with it, step on over here after the meeting and they'll get you taken care of. So, you know, as Dave referenced, you know, all the speakers that were up here today typically are going to hang out here in the area. If you have any questions, don't want to get on the mic, that's fine. You know, stop by and ask them those questions. We got, you know, other managers in the building that are available to answer your questions as well. You know, see, we got Jim Wilkins here from our flatbed division. I saw Brett Von Wheeler from Tanker over there hiding in the corner back by the ATM machine because he thinks sometimes I'm going to call him up on the microphone. You know, we always do what we can to prevent claims. You know, my buddy that sits right next to me, Jeff Chisholm, is over here. So if you ever have any questions, and of course, you know, we've got corporate security here in the back of the room with Bill Boeing. So
also our vendors too. Let's not forget them. All of our vendors back there, they're so valuable to us. So they're representatives of Freightliner, Kenworth, Peterbilt, you name it, the International. We got reps here from all of those. So if you got questions on your trucks, our maintenance crews back there too, those guys, we'll get them up next week. We'll get them up here. They'll be talking about something, but because maintenance is extremely important, especially this time of year. You don't want to break down in this heat and keep that trailer nice and cold. And there's secrets to do that, no doubt. And that's what we want you to understand and be familiar with. So.
Absolutely. And of course, you see a lot of the folks standing holding mics around the room. A lot of folks have on red. You know, we do this every Friday. It's an acronym, RED. Remember, everyone deployed. You know, so we are a company that we really appreciate the service that our veterans, you know, have for our country. So if you did serve in the armed forces, give us a stand and please give us the opportunity to thank you for your service. You know, and you see Jim Wilkins, stand up for just a second for me, Jim Wilkins. You see he has on one of the official Prime shirts, Red Friday shirts. You know, you can pick that up just down the hall here at the company store with Summer and all our friends there. So, you know, as we come to the end, I'm going to ask Steve Wucky to come on up and tell us a little bit about, you know, what you got. I mean, you look like you're on vacation. I'm jealous.
No, every day's vacation when you come to Prime.
There you go.
It is not like work, I'm telling you. Yeah, my name's Steve Wucky, and I am in sales. And it was mentioned earlier that we do have the best sales force in the country. And I'm looking at y'all, and many are out there delivering right now, doing their job very professionally and very safely. You heard Sam Messick earlier. Man, if you all just knew what he truly does with the purchasing of fuel for our network and for you all. It's incredible. There's a huge delta between what he does for our operators here at Prime versus what an independent operator that's not associated with Prime can do. Huge savings. And in tough times like the economy is today, you get an extra half mile per gallon and the discount that we get on fuel, you could do very well. It'll ease the pain. So please keep that in mind. When times are tough, we all need to work on the cost side a little bit and try to figure out how to control that. And I'm sure that's what's going on out there. You all are doing a terrific job fighting that. So the other couple of things I'd like to say, the health and wellness program, it is about you all. It's for you all. We care about your health and wellness. We know that a healthy driver is a safe driver. I'll tell you, I was in Chicago this week for a couple of days. I walked 7 miles in Chicago, and I'm telling you, you walk in Chicago, you got to be on your toes because there's a lot of things going on up there. But I escaped healthy and safely and got my 7 miles in. D, I'm going to keep turning in my miles. I'm going to catch you, girl. Anyway, we're all about health and wellness, and we do care about you and your family. So business is a little tough. It's a different environment than it was last year. But I will say, based off of what you all are doing on the service side, we get a pass on some of these rates. Our customers really appreciate the service you give, and we just got to keep doing it, and we got to do it safely. So appreciate what you all do very much. As indicated, Robert and I served in the armed forces, and no, it wasn't World War II. I mean, we may look it, but we're not it. So Robert, why don't you come on up here and say hello and thank these operators for what they're doing. Other than what we've just discussed, please keep in mind, service is important. It really is, but nothing is more important than safety. It's our highest calling. So don't ever think you have to run until you're just completely wiped out. Don't do that. You get safe, call your fleet manager, and we'll work on the appointment time. Be safe, please. Thank you all very much for what you do. And all of you listening out there that are running right now, thanks for that as well. Go ahead, Robert, it's yours.
Great. Thank you, Steve. We had a great week this week. We have our strategic planning for, managers to get together, and we strategize on, things we can do to make the company better, to improve things. A lot of it, we're driver centric. So a lot of our discussion points are around what we can do for drivers. So I'm going to pose a question to you, solicit your input. We're going to be doing eventually some remodeling here in the Millennium Building. So, I'd like to know what amenities that we don't have that you would like to see, or if there are enhancements to existing amenities, I'd like to hear that too. So you can contact me or my assistant, Olivia, and we'll get them in the works and we'll take a look at it. I may get some wild input. I don't know. Maybe some things we just may not be able to do. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be legal. It's got to be legal. It's got to be wholesome. It's got to be wholesome. So you let me know and we'll get it in the works. Now, I was talking about strategic planning. We have a little contest. The manager that has the best idea, we vote on it. Everybody votes on it. So does anybody have a guess who won the best idea? Anybody have a guess? He probably deserved it, but our honorable Dennis Davis is the winner.
Right there.
And it's really a great idea. We appreciate Dennis and his crew and safety. They do a heck of a job. Dennis's idea is to, put together a facility, a room, maybe where we honor, our prior million milers, and maybe replace the plaques with this, laser guided, plasma cooled, ultra, I don't
Hall
know
of
how you
Fame,
just,
Hall of Fame for drivers, right? Man,
Hall of Fame for drivers, yeah. So I think that's a great idea, and he won the prize. We had some other great ideas too. These folks, I mean, you could be proud of your management team here. They're good and they're focused on the right things, and they have built a heck of a company here. I'd like to take credit for it, but I tell you what, we have a hell of a team that really does the work. So I'll answer any questions you have, or I'll turn you loose and move
Man,
on.
he don't do this very often. So if you got a question,
You stay here, because if it's easy enough, I'll have you answer it.
there you go, Thomas.
This one is actually easy, and I'll let Steve answer it. I'll direct it to him. I think you forgot a little honor that we got this past week from a company that we hadn't got an honor from in a while. Saw that picture of that little trophy in my email. You want to tell everybody about what these folks earned?
Yeah, I'll share it. They're gonna come down and do a formal presentation, Thomas, but I think it's worth mentioning, and it's an ongoing situation for us. It seems like, our customer base loves to recognize Carrier of the Year, and they have some KPIs that are really important, and seems like for whatever reason, maybe because we're better, we win it about every year. So Kellogg's awarded you all Carrier of the Year, and I'm certain that you all deserved it. So thank you for that. Thanks for picking up, delivering on time for the Kellogg's people.
Yeah.
They're very proud of you. So thank you. And I think there's a question over here, Robert.
Yeah, I got a question regarding pre-trip planning and the split break on our logs. Since this is Omnitrax did their update on the system, we're no longer really in control of when we take our 2-hour split break. Is there any update on that being put back in our control, or is it just stuck at the first time you're sitting for 2 hours?
This is pretty easy, so I'm gonna turn it over to Dennis.
Well, it is a complex question, a complex situation. We don't have it resolved yet. We do know that there's an issue. Our friends at Omnitrax understand that there's an issue. We're working with them to get it resolved, and we'll get some information out to the fleet when we have a timeline and a direction where we're going to get that resolved.
Thank you.
Man, that's a good answer, Dennis. Thanks for staying around. Anything else?
Thank goodness. Okay, folks, I thank you very much for what you do. God bless you, and please be safe.
Thanks, Robert.